I see you, Marcin. Thank you.
Okay, no worries. So, hi, my name is Marcin Spoczynski. So, by profession, I'm kind of researcher, so mostly around uh, chips and machine learning. But I'm also involved, just like in retro computing for many years. Especially, my love is Amiga and the computers, Commodore systems. And I'm Amiga guy from the time I get my A600 for my 11th birthday. Previously I used to have like a C64, but it was 64 was mostly used like a gaming machine for me at this time. And Amiga was like the first uh, computer which I used actually for some kind of the programming. You can't really name it programming at this time. It was like mostly writing, whatever I find, just like in the magazine at this time, and and so on. And let me just quickly say, just like about the project, just like it's what I really wanted, just like when I get my like Ultimate 64 or Ultimate 2. Many time when I just like doing some work, I really love, just like listening to the seat and so on. But my dead space, just like I had boundaries. So, just like for me, it was always, just like, can I actually, just like, listen to sit remotely? And on the other side, I like to be like, just use the hardware as much as I can, not really using much of emulation. Even I know that's, just like today, the emulation is the one of the best and so on. So what I will say, just like also about me before I wrote actually, just like the SID player and a couple of those Ultimate 64 tools, I wrote a couple of others, but small software like a Tune Finder, which is like a radio player, and a couple of like the small project which probably you can find on the Eminet or like on GitHub, if that was more recently. Um, okay. So what is actually, just like the project is like the set of like Amiga OS tools where you can actually control um, real C64 hardware or emulated in FPGA, hardware when you look at the Ultimate 64. Oh, sorry, I just accidentally pressed then. So as I said, just like this is like the set of the different like just like Amiga's applications. Mostly what you really have like you can use them on Ultimate 64 in the just like also Ultimate 2 as a form of the cartridge. And of course, in the future, when we get like the Commodore 64, which is already produced, you can use just like those tools out of the box, to control your, Commodore 64 Ultimate, because we know that's actually it's like a Gideon project, just packed in a much more sophisticated case, and so on. So idea was like as I mentioned before, like just like don't use the PC, don't use anything, no browser, because as some of like Ultimate 64 can be easily controlled through the web browser. However, just like the set of the web browser capabilities are rather small. And I also didn't want, just like do like any emulation or like just like application, develop the application for PC at least for this time. Okay, maybe I just jump a little bit in the front. So the first application, actually, just like which is the part of the set of the tools, uh, is like a U64 SID player. And I think at least for me, it's like the most fun part. Just like it's mostly dedicated six music player, and there you can use like a real SID chips from your Ultimate 64 or C64 controlled by the cartridge. And so especially as for me, since just like the Amiga does can't play from the SID chips except for some of the Zorro cards. Just like the controlling, the real SID chips is really fun. So what it does, just like it has like the ability to just load your local SID chips. and just simply, play them. But additionally to that, you can also use, just like a, HVSC something. So in this way, just like your player will be able to actually understand the length of the SID uh, tunes, and also, just like it's able, just like to figure out, what kind of the chips that actually you have on your Ultimate 64. And just like do some random things like probably most of the players will do, if you can imagine, like just like skipping over the tracks, look over, just like find the tracks, clip playlist, and also have like a full functionality of the playlist itself, so you can save your favorite tunes, and so on. So it does not require just like a much more from Amiga. It can run on any uh, 6800, even just like so you can run it probably um, on even just like entry level Amiga. However, to use like the sound length, just like from HVAC, you require much more just like a much more sophisticated hardware, because that's involved like the hashing of the file and understanding the length of the file, and then correlate some of those the values just like in the software, which is CPU heavy for Motorola chips and for other chips in this era, and so on. So as I mentioned, just like it has like a playlist. You can play the sub song also, because I think this is the one just like of the my favorite band. You can do the shuffle repeat. It is able to actually figure out that it's like a dual seat in the case of the songs, and it's integrated with the HVSC database and so on. Second part is like a for people who love the command lines, just like it's just like a set of the tools, which is where I started, because just like some of the I started writing just library in a C, just like to have ability. So my first, just like a touch to control the Ultimate 64, it was like through the CAR library, but also just like it creates more ultimate tool when you actually can use like some scripting language to really automate, just like the controlling of your Ultimate 64 cartridge, or the board, where you can actually just like do the much more things when compares to the music player, like mounting a disk, just like around your PRG, CRT loading, pick into the memory, poke, write, and also, just like the control machine, so like a reset, reboot, power, or even change the settings on fly when your Ultimate 64 in a cartridge form or whatsoever, it's online. It will also discover what kind of the configure, what kind of the hardware you have, and what kind of the set of the control you can control in the same time. And the last one, which is like Ultimate 64 GUI, which is really mostly the same thing that you see before on the control, but in the form of the GUI. So I use like the MUI, which is like a user interface for the Amiga to just develop the application. So it mostly have like the same set of the functionalities like the command line one, additional to the like ability to actually play music, and we know that's actually the Ultimate 64 and the cartridge. You can also play Amiga tunes, like mod files up to the 4 tracks, and you can also just like use this app as like a keyboard input, so you can even write your program when you are away from the keyboard, from the Commodore keyboard, and so on. So as I mentioned, so native application, so you have like the management of the disk and cartridge, memory tools, and keyboard input. So you can look when you're actually the writing given the code in your Amiga, And you have like the Amiga mode playback plus, of course, the SID. But this is like much less sophisticated part because you can only like load one SID in this device. So as I mentioned, just like what I use is like a out of the box Amiga 6.x application, and you can run it. We tested it actually just like on the many forums. So it's working on the LS4, which is on all of the Morphos, which is like a Amiga API implementation very well. It's just required TCP/IP connection, which is given from the cartridge or through the LAN or VLAN. And you can also this is one of the things you can also use the many endpoints. So you can control the many different Ultimate 64s if you have. So this is the idea that I can say later. There is also already built the branch when if you have like a two Ultimate 64 with different sets of the SID chips, you can actually, based on this application, steer the specific tune to the specific required SID chip. So for example, if you're, just like if your app require 85 to all, so then it will be, just like automatically steer, this sent to the Commodore, which has those chips in there. So you can then, just like have of this, idea, just like how the specific SID sound in the end. So that is like a very experimental. I didn't have like a much time actually recently to close this fully feature, but it's working, and I plan just like to work in a stable version and so on. Okay. So in the end, you have like the really Amiga, which is mostly old school hardware, to control the 64, and it's working with any classic Amiga system at this moment, and just like and you can use it even today or anywhere, and it's available as a source form and also just like as a compiled binary for any Amiga OS today. Okay, so we get into the live demo. So I will have to switch the camera. Probably that will be the easiest way. And actually, I will have to actually switch the input of the monitor. So I hope we will stay all the time. So let me actually, oh, sorry. How to get, okay, I get out of it. And let me just switch camera to my iPhone. Um, okay, we have a Zoom. Show the grid. Just I try to see the. Should I stop presenting? I forgot how to do it. This is full screen and how to see. This is a grid.
You're still
Okay.
sharing the time being.
Oh yeah, that's great. Actually, just like I want to
Okay.
keep sharing because I have to just. Okay, actually, I just can stop sharing. I believe. Share. Oh no, I think okay. Stop share, and let me turn on the video. Switch to the. Okay, I'm here. I hope that it will. Why
A
it's
bit
so
blurry at the
blurry?
moment.
Okay, I know what I did.
Okay.
So let me just unblur it.
Mm.
Okay, I think you can see here. So let me
Yeah.
just switch my Amiga. Okay, you have to tell me if you see anything. Is that enough?
I guess so. Yes, we can see the screen and the top of the Amiga.
Righty. Okay, so let me right now run the app. So maybe you can start with the SID player. So even of my 60 Amiga, it takes a while to actually load for the first time database. And you can see here, like the amount of the mouse is quite high. And what I have to do is just load all of the files, not all of them in memory, but at least in a cache, to have ability to parse the database. So it has like 110,000 entries. So
We
it
don't
takes
see
a
the full
while.
screen, by the way. I'm sorry. Yes, this is better.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Here, on the other side, you have like my Commodore is actually, playing ACDC pinball at this moment. And okay, we have like the sound flag. Okay, we have it ready. So what we have to do is just like do the connect, and we have connected. So the Ultimate 64, it just understood that he has like a 6581, two chips. They are on the two different addresses. And whatever we have to do is just like add the new files. So let's us, just like the load couple, and you can see here, just like the player automatically see, if that's like if the song contains like a sub song in this case, or just like, and also will parse the length of the songs. If you click, of course, it will automatically, just like at the start, playing on the Ultimate 64 SID players. And it will continue playing until he will reach like the sub song or the next song and so on. And of course, just like the basic things that you can do, like it's a search or add new files, or just like just simply skip the sub song because just like I don't really like it in this way, and so on. You can also just like as I mentioned before, you can do like a save and load, just like the playlist if we like it, or just like just stop listening of it. It will also automatically find out if there is a new database of the songs of the HVSC site. And yeah, and I think that's already, from the functionalities, as it's quite a simple one. We can also skip, just like go to uh, the control side, and let's connect to our 60 Ultimate 64. So what we can do, we can just like maybe run one of the PRG files. And in this case, it will be, let's try like a ACID 2000. And you can see that's like instantly it's loading it on the on an Ultimate 64. And what you can do, you can just press play and you're ready to do it. So you don't have to keep everything on your USB stick drive. You can do it, just like directly from Amiga. Of course, just like some of the things that you can do, like it's, just like mount a disk drive and so on. Of course, you can also reboot machine remotely. You press the menu, or like just like a reset power off. You can also pick into the memory, or you can, for example, write something on your Amiga and send it back to the Commodore. It will automatically translate from regular Amiga input to the Commodore. So here, like I can write something simple. I can just like the type some of the commands and ultimately run on the 64 Ultimate or whichever cartridge or C64 you have. Okay, so let me switch back to the presentation. And okay, Now let me switch the camera. Okay. Oh, can you see? Let me just share whatever we had before. Yeah. So as you see, just like there are a couple of tools, that you can use it. You can download it from GitHub or from the Aminet, and it's over there. You can control your real 64 or whichever ultimate the computer that you have. And it's a fun way, just like to play around. Also, some time ago, I just wrote the GUI application that you can also control from a PC. It's not really maintained much, just like but basic functionality are still there. And just like if anyone have like this Ultimate 64, I have a plan to actually release the iPhone and Android app probably very quickly. It's already written, just like to be honest, I didn't have like a much more time to really fully tested it. So it's another way to actually controlling your Ultimate 64 in the future. And it has like all of the functionalities actually that's were implemented in the all those set of the Amiga apps, plus just like a number of additional one like just like a full control of the settings, or like even the streaming of the video for Ultimate 64 in the PGA form. Okay, I think that's all. I thought that would be much shorter. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And thanks for invitation.
You're more than welcome. Let's see if there are any questions from the attendees. Otherwise, in the meantime, I have at least a couple. So you're using TCP/IP. I guess you're buffering some certain part of the data. How in practice do you do that, and trying not to overload also the memory?
Oh yeah. Okay. So for Amiga, we just you can slice very easily, just like a data that you send, so you don't have to send it in a one file. So mostly what you have to do is just like send just only the fragments, just like you can packetize in a TCP/IP form, which is well supported on all of the actually Amiga system. It's actually very well working with the microcontroller, which is on the Ultimate 64, because if you will try to send much more data, the Ultimate 64 will die in the same time. Just like, and it's really hard to recover the cache. This is what I feel. Even the one reset, just like won't work. So, just like it was a couple of different tries, what kind of the lack of the packet, just like Ultimate 64 works well, because if you want to send longest file, it will take a while, and it's really easy to just to kill Ultimate 64. And it stopped become responsive. What I find out actually, it will, in my cases, for the first just like I try and fail scenario, the Ultimate 64 card just stopped working, and just like it gets back after a couple of minutes after reset. But probably just like the still memory was something was in a memory.
Okay, thank you. I don't see other question. Anybody? Any questions? Otherwise, I will just thank you again, Marcin. I will stop the recording.
Thank you so much.